Good morning and welcome to Herb Oracle Podcast, botanical divination with herbs, essences, flowers, and trees with your host, Herbal Marie. Let's start the day off pulling some oracle cards and getting a few messages. We can shoot the shiitake in a spiritual way-ish. And if you follow me on Instagram, I'll post a pic of the cards at Herb Oracle. Thanks so much for joining me. Here we go. Hey, thanks for coming back for another week at Ho. I mean, don't you just want to commend yourself for every little thing that you do? Thanks for getting up out of bed. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for keep on working on yourself. Thanks for being positive. Thanks for smiling. Thanks for loving. Thanks for doing your best to make happy. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for showing up. This morning, I literally clapped for myself. Like, good job, honey. Because I finished another chapter of A Course in Miracles. And so now I can start on chapter 20, which means I'm actually making progress now. I'm over halfway through. Good job, right? That book is such a book of comfort. It brings me like so much comfort right now. It's the only way I can explain it. And I really benefit so much by waking up and reading it. I'm making an audiobook of it. Doing that first, then doing my little dance scran for my YouTube channel, and then finishing up some Course in Miracles. And then I show up here and yeah, you don't get my best speaking voice. You get what's left over. All right. So anyways, that's okay because not a big deal. I have proven to myself that whether my voice is tip-top shape or Jesus Christ, whatever level like it comes in at, I appreciate having it and we get her done either way. So the herb of the week is, that's my drum roll, SKULLCAP. And it's cool, man. We only have 3 cards. We would have only had 2, but I remembered that for each of the herbs that I want to study and learn more of, I have a nerdy folder. I have a filing system that I just keep in a wooden crate with a bunch of manila envelopes, which were ridiculously expensive. So I've invested in this system. But it's worth it because if I want to learn more about a specific herb, I just pull that folder out and I've got notes, I've got cards, I've got printables that I've made. Now, a lot of these herb of the weeks, they'll have affirmations now. If I did a nerdy podcast, I'll have my notes from Herbal Marie. And it's a nice way to keep it all organized. I don't get any herbal magazines anymore, but I wish I would have kept my old ones because I could have like done magazine clippings and put those in. And there is some of that in some of them. Like SKULLCAP, our herb of the week this week, it has a beautiful card from the Herbs and Medicinal Plant Knowledge cards. If you're looking for a very realistic card deck that you can still use as an oracle deck if you want, or just as a nerdy deck, look up Herbs and Medicinal Plants Knowledge cards. These are from the Academy of Natural Sciences in Philadelphia, PA. And so shout out to my state of Pennsylvania. I love you. And then it just kind of like gives you some facts on the back. It's just only nerdy. Okay, so I'll read that one. So that was in the folder. And then 3 pieces of paper that I just decided to write down a few things about SKULLCAP. This is another herb like wood betony last week that I've never grown. And yeah, it's still on my list of get to know. So even if you put 20 years into herbalism and you're studying and learning and trying to hug all the plants that you can hug, there are still always going to be like a few that you haven't gotten to yet, or that just hasn't, you just haven't yet. And SKULLCAP is definitely one of those. So yeah, back-to-back weeks where it's going to sound like I don't know shit, but hey, whatever, I don't know shit. That's why I always tell you to do your own research and disclaim out the wazoo. But anyways, so I'm excited again to learn about this herb. And so we have 3 cards, and one's a tarot card, the Star. That'll be from the Herbal Tarot, which that'll tell us lots. And then we have a card from Magical Herb Oracle by Sherilyn Darcy. So it won't be like real long. My notes here, I'm just going to read them so I can get a little na right away. SKULLCAP is part of the mint family, soothing to the nervous system, relaxing the body from nervous tension. It's good for easing anxiety. And if you take it in higher doses, it can be sedative. It just is, it's got green leaves. Plant jokes. Like, tell me about that plant. It's green. It has a stem. And anyways, it's got small little beautiful blue flowers on it that will blossom in the summer. And it does prefer moist soil. Although I guess from my notes here that it'll thrive in the ground or a pot. And then why would we want to grow this? For our anti-anxiety tincture. It's calming and soothing to the nervous system. It aids in sleeping and calms anxiety. So SKULLCAP tincture, I can think of this for several people in my life, myself included at times, to help quiet the monkey mind. Twitches and tremors and muscle spasms and restless leg syndrome. I'll have to tell my lady at the dentist that SKULLCAP might be good for her restless leg syndrome. If you took a little bit of the tincture, 1 teaspoon 3 times a day for long term, or just acute, like right now, take it right now, a couple doses if you're having an anxiety attack. It quiets white noise. I have written that down. And it grows along bubbly, babbling creeks. So it likes to grow like by wet, moist places and bubbling, babbling creeks, which is Mother Nature's way of saying in kind of a way that it will help you feel calm in the busyness. Or like that chattering monkey mind, like you just feel like you can't shut the fuck up in your head. Maybe SKULLCAP could be something that you would like to look into. So anyways, there's lots of information. You could also probably open up, since I'm sure you've downloaded it because I've already suggested it a billion zillion times, iPlant. It's the app by Brigitte Mars. And you type in SKULLCAP, SKULLCAP. Scutellaria californica, and a bunch of other species. It is in the mint family. She says the genus name Scutellaria and common name SKULLCAP derived from the Latin scutella, which means little dish, in reference to the plant's inverted calyx cup, which actually looks like a helmet with its visor raised, and also somewhat like a skull. I mean, use your imagination, people. There's a common name mad dog. The common name mad dog weed was because in the 1700s, they used to use this plant if people were bitten by rabid dogs. So sometimes people call this plant mad dog weed. That sounds even cooler than SKULLCAP. Holy shit. Like, you sounded like a badass when you were taking your SKULLCAP tincture. Imagine if you were taking your mad dog weed. I might have to get this plant just so I can tell everybody I'm taking mad dog weed. It is, let's see. It is an anodyne, an anaphrodisiac. So it'll calm your horny ass down. Is that what that word means? I mean, most definitely, this plant is for me. Antibacterial, antispasmodic, antivenomous, astringent. It is a bitter, but it's also some other cool tonics like a cardiotonic, brain tonic, system tonic, nervous system tonic, spinal cord tonic. Whoa. So this could really help like with people with nerve damage. It's a nervine or nervine, hypotensive, febrile, diuretic, vasodilator, cardiotonic. Oh, very interesting. And it's a semanagogue. Bring on your period, restorative, sedative, stomach. Okay, so download this app so you can read. She's got a whole freaking list for every single herb of conditions it could help. But of course, when we hear that could be SKULLCAP could be used for anxiety, we got to think of like panic attacks and, things like that. Attention deficit disorder, calm you down. It'd be a good herb for addiction and alcoholism and anger and convulsions and delirium and emotional upset, excessive libido, headache, fear. So if you're really falling to fear, #2020, maybe SKULLCAP is something that's like, listen, enough of this anxiety, enough of worshiping fear. I'm going to start 2021 really calm. This week we're going to manifest more tranquility on Wednesday. Maybe SKULLCAP could really hold our hand through this and help us get into a better, less restless place. Right. So anyways, but even some like serious conditions like Parkinson's and like they said, the restless leg syndrome and things like that, neuralgia, it could help with all that. SKULLCAP work best when given over a period of time. It loses its properties more quickly than other herbs. Herb stock that is more than a year old is not likely to have much therapeutic value. So if you get it, use it. Because in a year, I guess more than other herbs, it loses its oomph. In folkloric tradition, women wear SKULLCAP to keep their husbands from being charmed by other women. There you go, y'all. There's even some B vitamins in this plant. Avoid during pregnancy. Large doses may cause confusion and giddiness. Okay, Brigitte, like you're not deterring me with that caution. Confusion and giddiness sounds fun sometimes. Okay, but anyways, just be aware of that. It's like you're like whenever they have hold on, I dropped paper. Like when they have health class in high school and they like talk about drugs, but then they end up making drugs seem appealing. Like, yeah, thanks for the no, don't do drugs chit chat. Now I just want to do them. Okay, so we have 3 cards, really just 2 oracle cards because this first nerdy card just talks about how it's a perennial SKULLCAP. And you can spell that with a K or a C. One word or 2, like however, like apparently however you want to spell this word, you can, okay? Like skull with a K and cap are usually 2 separate words. Of course, I don't know. I mean, I see actually 1, 2, 3 different ways in front of me to spell this word. So any way you want to spell SKULLCAP, whatever you think is fine. It does have the little blue or pale purple flowers. That flower, like in between July and September, it grows in wet places, northern and eastern and southern Canada, northern and eastern United States. So yeah, that's my neck of the woods, and even up into southern Canada. The whole plant is used to treat nervous disorders like spasms, restlessness, and insomnia. And I would say right off, I don't know, he just jumped in my head, Seven Song, the herbalist Seven Song is most familiar with this. I would say he's totally familiar with this because that's his stomping ground, and I've heard him talk about it. So if you want to learn like more like how to make this, how to get with this, like if I'm really serious about learning and connecting with SKULLCAP, I'll probably track down Seven Song either on YouTube or his website and see what he says about it. The whole plant is used to treat nervous disorders like spasms, restlessness, and insomnia. The dried above ground portion of the plant is more commonly used. Traditional treatments are for the promotion of menstruation and supposedly for the treatment of rabies. Mad dog weed. What's up? Can you smoke that? I don't know. I'll ask Seven Song. Let's just do a tincture, okay? Let's just keep it safe with our 100 proof vodka. All right, so hang out with me a little bit today. Come back again tomorrow. We'll do some tarot. Come back Wednesday because we're going to manifest more tranquility. Thursday, we'll ask the trees what they want to talk about. I'm not rushing this week. Even though I only have 2 cards and this is going to be a quick podcast. I'm not rushing like I did last week. I didn't enjoy feeling like I had to like run out the door. I don't have to go anywhere this week. My daughter's birthday is tomorrow, but I'm going to get up really early and pull tarot cards before she's even awake. And so I'm not going to be rushed. And then Friday we'll just pull some messages again. But anyways, what got me on that is Thursday. I can't believe how I was rushed during a tree, guys. Like, who does that? Like, we never should be rushed when we're hanging out with the trees. We should lose sense of time, if anything. So let me tell you about these 2 cards that's going to help us tap into the energy and the spirit of SKULLCAP. So even if you don't have this plant, even if you're like, I don't know if I want to take it physically yet, because, before you take anything physically, you should research the fuck out of it. You should know that it's okay for you. You should make sure it's cool for you. Make sure you're comfortable with it. So even if you're like, well, I don't know about that. I don't know how I feel about mad dog weed. Like, I don't know if SKULLCAP's for me. You can still connect with SKULLCAP just through thinking about it, through tapping into the consciousness of this plant, the energy of this plant, the spirit of this plant. So yeah, never feel bad if you don't have the actual plant. I know that's like a big grand statement, but I'm just really ready to make these kind of weird statements for you because you can't buy everything. You can't grow everything. And the thing that we need to grow out of the most right now is this freaking insane belief that we are only just a body. I see your body, I see mine, right? But it's like, and I think spiritually, we must understand now that this body is really nothing. Who we truly are is our consciousness, and we are capable of connecting with a lot of healing that's actually above the body. That's actually above the physical. Like, you can heal yourself with or without an herbal tincture. Herbal tinctures are a nice permission slip, and they will, oh, there's a red cardinal in the lilac bush. I feel completely confirmed that I'm allowed to be weird in my life right now because cardinals are from spirit. Anyways, loved ones looking in. But it's like, yeah, herbs are wonderful permission slips for healing. But actually, you only really heal when you clean up your energy. And plants help with that, absolutely. But do you have to actually put the plant in your body? No, I'm convinced now you really don't. This is going to be the death of Herbal Marie podcast because Herbal Marie is very allopathic and very physical and very nerdy. But I'm just going to be the one to say that you don't always have to have the plant. I'm just telling you. All right, so anyways, SKULLCAP brings through 2 really amazingly badass cards. Like I said, the tarot card, the Star, and then a meditation card through the magical, let me grab this one first, the Magical Herb Oracle, Enchanting Secrets from the Garden. And it's by Sherilyn Darcy, and it's illustrated by Deer Dandy, like a deer that everyone around here is hunting. Deer dandy. And that means the deer are running. I was like on like a little back alley road by the Red Bank River through Somerville the other day, and so you just only drive like 20 miles an hour on this little road, and just freaking out of the bush by the riverbank, this big ass deer like runs in front of me. And it just made me laugh because like my mom's always like, watch out for deer, watch out for deer. I'm like, Mom, how do you watch out for something that's just gonna blast through like out of nowhere? But they're so big. So yeah, we need to keep deer off the road. But this guy must have just been running from the hunters and ran through the creek and then in front of me. It was cool. It was cool. But I was also like wowed, like dang, like even if I'm only going 20 miles an hour, that thing would have like really, the impact would have been there because he was cruising. He was cruising. All right, anyways. I'm on a little bit of a tangent. So I just want to tell you that I had a really good weekend real quick because sometimes people want to hear about me. I had a great weekend, even though it was kind of also a struggle at times, and I had to resist the urge, of visiting an old lover because like I am trying to allow a friendship to be there, but I feel like in contemplating and reflecting back on what my big hesitation was, if I notice within myself that my codependency tendencies are being activated or they're flared up or whatever, that's when I cannot be around certain people, right? When I'm needy and begging for attention, I just stepped up and I recognized that, and I made myself get none attention, because I was like, no, you cannot be looking for attention from this vibrational set point. So yeah, I recognized that my codependency was like seriously banging, and so I did not venture into that neck of the woods. So what I did instead this weekend was invest in my home. I cleaned everything and swept and mopped and made it look prettier. And then yesterday I hung out with my lady friends, whom I love dearly, and we made Christmas wreaths. So that was fun. We're gonna still have a holiday. Oh, I'm sorry. We don't know what the government's doing. we don't know what humanity's doing, but we are still getting together and drinking hot cocoa and eating delicious food and making Christmas wreaths. So I will put a picture of my wreath on my Instagram for today with SKULLCAP, so you can see how pretty it is. And it's got a little birdie in it, and yeah, you'll love it. It's so minimalism, but that's me. That is me. So anyways, that's just the update. I am still maintaining my dick-free diet, 10 months, no physical connection with a man folk. And actually, I'm kind of like settling into it now. Like, I'm okay with it. I'm good. Can you believe it? I'm cool. Like, actually, like, after hanging out too with like some ladies yesterday and hearing their husband stories, I was like, wow, maybe I'm lucky to be alone right now, just because like I really do lead a fairly bullshit-free life, because yeah, I don't have to tolerate anybody. All right, back to SKULLCAP. Back to Mad Dog Weed. Meditation. So what did I do Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night? I was alone. Right? I was alone, no lover to entertain me. But guess what? That gives me a lot of extra time to meditate, to go within, to sit quietly, to really tap into the energy that I am. It gives me an opportunity to get out of my head. Like, I don't have to interact. I don't have to constantly engage. Like, it gives me a lot of time to just go, or duh. It's usually more of a duh for me. But anyway, but even just like sitting like in my room at night, like it just gives me a time to get to know myself. So SKULLCAP wants to talk about meditation today. So on that note, take a deep breath. And if you didn't make tea, just push pause and go make some tea. Okay. So yeah, after I tell you that we don't really actually need the herbs, I'm like, go make tea. Honey, I still want the herbs in my life. I'm not going to not have herbs. I'm just saying it's time for us, like SKULLCAP says, to meditate, to quiet ourselves and get to know ourselves as energy, as an idea, as a thought in the mind of God. Okay, like we just place too much emphasis and value on the body, and really the body is nothing. Without the spirit, the body is nothing. So you totally have the capabilities of healing yourself, of calming yourself, of soothing yourself, of strengthening yourself. And yeah, that's just what I'm saying, man. Even if you don't have SKULLCAP with you, we're just going to tap into the idea of SKULLCAP, and that's how we get it in our mind, in our energy, in our presence. So that, and the other thing is like, I feel like herbs have a lot more to offer than just a remedy, and I think that's the one thing that, hey, we've done 42 herb of the weeks. Isn't that something that we've kind of sort of figured out by now, that like the herbs have more to say than just, how they can heal your hemorrhoids, or you know what I mean? Like, it's like, no, they want to help us like heal our hearts and our psyches, and they want to help us step into our power. Yeah. I mean, and if they soothe our parts that are no good, then bless them even more. And I'm not knocking it, because if I wasn't such a physical being and a nerd, then I would have never come to herbalism. I came to herbalism like most people. I was suffering. I had athlete's foot as a teenager. That was my first real experience with the healing of herbal remedies. So I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying that as we progress and expand ourselves and expand our consciousness, I feel like there's quite a bit more to plants than we ever thought. And we will be able to connect with them in ways that maybe we had never considered. So this first card from SKULLCAP is an invitation. Have you ever considered to sit and meditate with a plant, or a plant spirit, or a plant consciousness, and take in that wisdom into your being? You are what you eat, right? You are what you drink. Like, if you've ever had the experience of really feeling enlivened by plants or fresh greens, or it's kind of like that too, except it's just spiritually. I put on some big quotes, just spiritually, just energy. So meditating under a tree, meditating in front of a plant, really like going up to a plant that you're allowed to stroke and touch, and putting your hands on the plant and just seeing how its energy affects your energy, seeing how it makes you feel or think, or does it have something to say to you? Does it make you think of something? Or does it just feel good to sit with it and sit beside it? I know out in the sunroom, next to the desk out there, because this is just a house of desks, there's a ginormous scented geranium, like a citronella scented geranium plant. And I love him. I love to just sit beside him and stroke him and touch him, And we have to it's subtle feelings, but I feel like when we quiet our mind more and more, like SKULLCAP quiets the mental monkey mind chatter, there's going to be other things that can come in. So maybe let that be one of your intentions this week, quieting the endless ranting and chit chat, the monkey mind, right? It just never fucking quits. Quieting that repetitive nonsense, stepping into a more meditative energy, and in that calmness, receiving your messages that you are ready for. So this is number 27 in the Magical Herb Oracle, and that's magic with a K. Oh, Sadie. Okay, 27, meditation, SKULLCAP, Scutellaria, latrifloria. Fuck you, Latin. We could still be a bitch, right? Even if we are connecting with plant spirits. So here's the message. There is a change coming, and some things will begin to look a lot brighter. Goals are also highlighted, so now is a good time to set them and to perhaps check in with old and current ones and give some deeper thought to how you are going and what you could do about it. So we don't actually need to wait for January 1st to get these New Year's resolutions going on. Let's check in now, because December 7th seems like just as good a day as anything to start some new goals. Check in with our current goals. What about some old ones? Was there anything that we forgot about, or that we're going to let go of, or that we're like, oh dang, like I forgot I was supposed to be doing that. Let's reevaluate and check out our goals and use this new energy. Use this brighter, lighter energy to get things going. See, we are leading up to the winter solstice. December 21st and it's really hyped up this year because it's 2020. It's really hyped up this year because people are ready for the hype. Humanity's like ready, begging for the change, ready for the change. In so many ways, this for a lot of people, madness of a year has completely primed and prepared you for newness, for change, for holding more light in your life. And so let's start focusing our energy on what we want our goals to be. There is hope for anything you may be concerned with, and a positive outcome looks more promising. Inspirations should be surrounding you, and the opportunity to work with or inspire others. So don't let any good ideas gather dust. Have faith and believe in yourself. And the Arcturians were talking about that very same thing this morning. As you inspire yourself, it is the natural domino effect to inspire others. As people in your life see that you're working on yourself, you're meditating, you're healing yourself, you're forgiving people in your life, you're moving forward, you're letting things go, you inspire them. Like, they just lay eyes on you and they watch you and they're like, Sally's not as big of a bitch as she used to be. She looks kind of happy. And then everyone looking on you is like, you know what? Maybe I'll try that too. Sally, what's the name of your tincture? And you're like, mad dog weed. And then they start taking some SKULLCAP and everyone's chilling out. Everybody's centering. Everybody's gaining clarity of mind. And it was all because you decided that you wanted to work on yourself. So I can't tell you how many people I've at least planted the seed of them forgiving people in their lives, because I'll tell them that that's what I've been doing these past year, 2 years. And A Course in Miracles has really helped me with that. And the joke is, had I had read it at the beginning of my marriage, I might still have a marriage. But it's cool. It's cool either way. And, but it's like me relentlessly working on myself gains the attention of other people who are now ready to work on themselves. They weren't ready 2 years ago, but honey, they are now. Thank you, 2020. You've pretty much gotten the entire world ready to work on themselves, to do their healing work, to connect with others. Oh yeah. 2020 in a big way has made everybody ready to just hug and dance and laugh and like be with each other and make happy. And make happy. That's just like what I want to keep focusing on today. So SKULLCAP is a member of the mint family. It loves the wetlands. It's a perennial herb, so it'll keep coming back. It is 31.5 inches high, like 80 centimeters high. The flowers are blue-purple. They have an upper and lower lip, and they grow along the leaf axis. The leaves are mid to bright green and have a serrated edge. So just look online and see what it looks like. It's like one of those plants to me that is not special. Like it just looks like a plant. If I'm being honest, like it's one of those plants that you're going to have to get to know for you to recognize it out in nature, because it's just not really anything that sets it apart from anything else. That sounds so condescending and rude, but I'm just saying, like, it's just like you're probably not gonna notice it as anything special unless you get to know it. All right, so the magical correspondences that if you're using SKULLCAP with a K in magic with a K, you can use it in spells for love, for peace, for prosperity, and fidelity. That was funny to read in the iPlant app that women used to wear it so they'd keep their men from cheating on them, basically. Hey man, whatever works. Deities are Hera, Saturn, Kronos, and Obatala. That's a new one for me. The planet is Saturn. The signs are Aquarius and Capricorn. And the element, water. So that makes our next card, the star, pretty cool because she's sitting by the water in that card. And she's pouring in her water or getting water. It's hard to say, is it giving or receiving? But anyways, the element's water. And there is a really cool spell here that you could do called the SKULLCAP meditation spell. SKULLCAP can be used in rituals that involve making oaths and commitments. If you place some in your lover's shoes, he'll probably say, "What the fuck's in my shoe?" But anyways, they will also not be tempted by the charms of another because they're too distracted by what the fuck's in their shoe. They don't notice anyone else. All right, I would never recommend even thinking like that, because if you're in a relationship and you start entertaining the thoughts of them being unfaithful, well, guess what? You just created thoughts of them being unfaithful. Thoughts lead to thought forms, which lead to manifestations. So if you're always worried about your lover cheating on you, you're actually increasing the likelihood that your lover is going to cheat on you. Those are the laws of the universe. Sorry, I don't make this stuff up. Anyways, maybe you're the one who needs to put the fucking skull cap in your shoes. All right. Oh, I love Mondays. SKULLCAP tea will prevent nightmares and assist with spiritual recovery. So it's a bitter. It says it's bitter. So I'm assuming the tea is not fantastic, but some people really enjoy bitter teas. And if that's a good non-alcoholic way for you to connect with this plant, maybe that's for you. You could also make a tea and add it to your bath. A bath with this herb will help relax a disturbed aura and instill calm and harmony. So it is the base of this spell. So you gather just a tablespoon of dried skullcap, a handful of jasmine flowers, either fresh or dried, whatever you've got. Because I'm sure you have jasmine flowers, right? And then 2 white candles. This is so funny, but in my head, I'm saying if you don't have these items, just go out and grab a handful of grass from the yard and chuck a handful of grass in your bath and just call it SKULLCAP. All right, so fill a bath with warm water and add the SKULLCAP and the jasmine or the handful of grass, whatever. Magical herbalism on a budget. You may like to play soft and meditative music. Light the candles and relax in the bath, letting your mind drift, but making sure it clears and empties. Any negative or busy thoughts should be let go. If they come to you, swirl your hand through the water and imagine the thoughts swirling away. So relax and take your time. And I do actually love this because it's like if you're trying to enjoy your relaxing bath and your monkey mind starts squawking about stupid shit, like literally think or say, listen, I'm trying to enjoy this bath. I'm going to enjoy this bath. And just reach up and grab the thoughts right off your forehead and put your hand in the water and swirl your hand in a spiral and imagine the thoughts swirling away. Right? I kind of love that because I love mudras and things like of actually, telling yourself, directing yourself, taking control of yourself. I'd probably be one of those people that like the whole tapping thing. If nothing else, it does feel good to tap your head. But yeah, and continue. You might have to do it a few times, but you're in charge of your mind. Please remember that. And if you're done thinking these thoughts, like, listen, mind, I have thought about this all day. Now it's time for me to relax my ass in this fantastic bath that I have made for myself. So we are quieting down. We are relaxing now. And then you just swirl your hand in the water, let those thoughts go. Think about how the water feels on your hand and let the bath take you into a meditative, quiet space. And so, yeah, like even me just sitting here, and even though I was being kind of a little shit, I'm one of those monkeys that throws her own shit, obviously. And I was just trying to stir up a little haha and fun and kind of like, be a little shit. That's probably a good way to describe me. SKULLCAP energy is very palatable for calming and relaxing. Once I gave myself permission to sink into that warm bath, jokes aside, right? Maybe the jokes open me up. Maybe laughter and being silly opens me up and gives me permission to just all of a sudden have that breakaway from the monkey mind and into a meditative state. So I love laughing. I think it's so beneficial. I think being silly is a superpower. And does that mean that you're always a silly monkey? No. That gives you an outlet, and then once you get it out of your system, then you can be a calm Buddha monkey, right? So yeah, just allowing ourselves to tap in now to the energy of SKULLCAP. We can go into the tarot card, the Star from the Herbal Tarot, and she is so calm sitting there next to the water. She's got a blue shirt and a red skirt, probably a really long gown. She's got her red vase. Her hair's red too. Anyway, it looks amazing. She's by a ginormous SKULLCAP plant, larger than life, and there's a very bright star in the sky, and you can see trees on the sides of the card. And yeah, there's all these little stars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that are next to the water that she's pouring. 7 stars. Okay, so the star. You are the star. Let's see what we've got here. Let's see if I can get the Roman numerals. What is this? Like 17? An X, a V, and 2 I's. Yeah, that's 17. The star. Okay, so now this tarot card, yeah, we've talked about this card specifically at Herbal Marie. So you may have already heard this, but it's worth hearing again. The star, ruled by Aquarius, is the key of meditation and hope. So the woman's blue garment symbolizes receptivity, inner reflection, and intuition. Her red undergarment and skirt symbolize her vitality, which is being guided by her inner wisdom. So it's a fantastic combo. 1, in the fact that red and blue, I think, look so good together. And 2, the collab between intuition and will, between inner reflection and vitality. So she's receptive, but then she's got that vitality and will and guidance from her inner wisdom to make things happen in her life. This symbolism is further exemplified by her sitting on the earth, the objective world, while touching into the flowing waters of the inner life that reveals the answers from divine spirit. And that sort of is the dance and balance that herbalism has taught me spiritually. It's like, yes, be in this body, but also have a foot in the spirit world. You know, understand it's like connect to the earth, be grounded, but also have a very rich and lush inner life. You must. If you don't have that inner life blooming, this outer world that you see is going to start looking bleaker and darker and, oh my God, like you got to go within. SKULLCAP is saying you must meditate more or start if you've never. Now there is a lightning bolt. Where the heck's the lightning bolt? Oh, you can't see it because it was the lightning bolt in the tower. So in our herbal journey, before the star card is the tower card. So this star card is coming right after the lightning bolt in the tower card, destroyed, like our lives and our egos, destroyed and humbled the self, okay? So if you've had a tower moment, 2020 could be a tower year. Everything's got to crumble. Everything has to be exposed. Everything has to be destroyed. Now, what does that inspire? inner seeking. So when this world of egoic illusions crumbles down, there's only one place to go, and that's inside of yourself. So we have to really bless up 2020 for doing that on a grand scale, on the grand stage of the collective consciousness. It's made all of us want to go within more, want more inspiration, want more love. Inspiration is found within our hearts. So the tower is now the star of inspiration. So we don't have to keep on carrying the tower energy within us. Now we can carry the star of inspiration within our hearts. Like we seen the tower go down. We felt it. It happened. Now we are getting a visitation from Spirit, showing the way to understanding the life power, an understanding that is an eternal meditation. So in his book, The Spirit of Herbs, Michael Tierra says, to meditate with plants and trees can be very powerful. This type of meditation can show us the gifts and wisdom that are always being communicated to us by our plant brothers and sisters if we but open ourselves to their ways. So most of the plants get their foot in the door of our life because, our bodies, we think our bodies need them, and they're like, cool, we're in, right? We're in. And then, we fall in love with the plants, right? And then we might not even realize it. We just like being around them, or they feel good, or we just find them interesting, And then it's like this journey doesn't stop there. And that's what I feel like we're going to be going more into. We're going to see how our plant journey can evolve now into something really weird and wonderful. But I feel like these guys, our plant brothers and sisters, have so much to open us up to, so many gifts to offer us, and wisdom. And that's why it seems very inviting to start meditating with them. So if you had or want to just even look at this picture of SKULLCAP, look at it, invite it into you, close your eyes, and sit with SKULLCAP. Breathe with SKULLCAP. It's like, don't expect or try to make anything happen, but if something does, be open to it. And do this more and more and more. Many of our inspirations may come to us as visions, ideas, goals, dreams, or imaginings. But we must quiet the outward searching mind, the monkey mind. We must quiet the mind in order to receive the inner messages. Through meditation, we can create a greater peace and stability that will open many doors for us. So now you'll understand why in this book on page 61, it says SKULLCAP, the herb of meditation. Yeah, what's up, Mad Dog Weed? The herb of meditation. And SKULLCAP, that's because SKULLCAP calms the mind and heart and prepares the way to meditation. So if you have tried and failed meditation, as some people claim, and I'm not saying you didn't. I'm not saying you didn't fail, loser. Seriously, some people really struggle with meditation. some people just can't seem to quiet their mind. Maybe this is your permission slip, your herbal helper that is going to help you calm your mind and heart and actually prepare you for the meditation. Its tonic properties will help the inner channel of inspiration to be strengthened so that inner truths can be brought forth and manifested in life. So it's like if you just haven't really been feeling inspired, or like you're like, I don't feel like I channel anything. Well, you have the capabilities of channeling lots. You have the absolute potential of being inspired, of bringing forth your own inner truths, okay? So this herb is a tonic in that way to help you do that. Many times when we have realizations, our bodies and especially our nerves and our heart must be prepared to handle the accelerated energy flow. So if you're like up to speed with the galaxy and you know that we are in a process of ascension into higher energies, you'll also know that you can have ascension symptoms and just be like, man, like I'm stepping into more inspiration and lovingness and open-heartedness. I'm really tapping into this energy flowing from the universe, but you have to acclimate to it. Sometimes like you're just tired or whatever you have going on while your body tries to keep up with it. So if you've been feeling a little frazzle-dazzled, a little anxious, and you're like, I think it's just because like the energy, right? So it's not really like anything you can blame or point your finger on. It's just this collective energy that's going on. That's okay. But SKULLCAP is saying you got to strengthen yourself, right? The nerves need to be strengthened so you can receive the inspirations. So you can receive more energy without it creating chaos and turbulence in your life. You know, it's like until you can keep up with it, it might be either exhausting or overstimulating, or it's like if you drink too much coffee, you're like, oh yeah, like I always shake like this. Like energy can do that to you as well. I mean, I still, sometimes when I sit down to pull messages and open up to spirit, my armpits are so friggin' sweaty, and it's not like a bad thing, but like that's just my body like taking in all the energy, and I like it. But yeah, like it used to be really crazy, but then I got stronger. My nerves were able to handle more energy, more light, more love. Yeah, more energy. That's what it comes down to. That accelerated energy flow that we're all in. And some people are doing a beautiful job bringing it into their bodies and they feel great. And then other people are like, I'm so fucking tired. And it's just bringing up all my darkness or all my bullshit. And I'm resisting it. So then I'm feeling even worse. And if you keep resisting it, that's when you manifest disease. So SKULLCAP is saying like it's so important for you to open up yourself, strengthen yourself, calm yourself. And the way you do that is through meditation. And so get yourself ready now to meditate. Now, medicinally, SKULLCAP relaxes tensions, induces calmness, and counteracts sleeplessness. So if you just lay there at night, like I do sometimes, and you're not sleeping, I lay in my bed for hours upon hours. I don't get upset about it because, like I said, I'm meditating, I'm oming, I'm duhing. I'm not thinking, I'm just laying there. It's okay for me to do that. Like, I think it's a good practice in itself in some ways. And, you know, eventually I rest. And sometimes even better than resting, like I'll get a good idea come in, or I work out a few things in my head and I let go of hopefully everything in my head. And that's a beautiful thing when you can get into that empty duh moment. I love it. So it'll help you do all that, relieve, relax, induce calmness, help you rest. It can also help ease menstrual tension. This is medicinally. It can strengthen the brain. It is useful in the treatment of epilepsy and seizures. Helps ease and break addictions associated with drug and alcohol. So, yeah, this herb SKULLCAP is definitely worth more research, more connecting, more looking into. If you have any of those conditions that you would like it to address. So the herb can be taken as an herbal essence if you just want to promote a state of meditative living. I mean, I'm curious, aren't you? Like, I mean, I know I said we don't need the herb, but I'm always curious to try an herb. I know how it made me feel sitting with it now for a half hour, or 45, however long we've been hanging out. You know, I feel calmer. I feel open. I feel like I can do whatever I need to do today in a calm, meditative state. I feel the energy of the plant. And, but yeah, I'd still give it a go. I still would. 7 songs. Send me some SKULLCAP. What else can I say about this? All of life can be lived as a conscious experience. By doing so, the little things we partake in will bring us greater fulfillment and joy. So, when I can fold the laundry and like the way the towel feels on my hand, or just get a meditative vibe going on, like a Zen repetitive thing, or just find calmness in washing the dishes, it doesn't really matter what you're doing. You could make it a conscious experience. You could be more mindful. You could be more in the now moment. You could open up your sense of presence. You will feel more fulfillment when you do that. You will have more joy in doing the little things and the big things and all the things. So you could even carry a little piece of SKULLCAP in a pouch to remind yourself of the star of meditation forever within you. Now, if you do get your hands on some SKULLCAP, some Mad Dog weed, and you want to make a tincture, you could take 10 or 20 drops as needed. It's a bitter and a cooling herb. So if you're running hot, monkey mind, going crazy, or angry, it was good for that too. Angry, you need to cool down. SKULLCAP could help you with that. If you've come to the point where you want to overcome your drug or alcohol addiction, good for you. All right, I'm proud of you. You could get some of the SKULLCAP tincture, but put the drops in 1/2 cup of boiling water for just a half a minute to evaporate the alcohol. So yeah, if you're a drunk, and you're not going to be a drunk anymore, and I'm so proud of you, you don't really want to, and you really need to just completely cut out alcohol. If you put your tinctures in hot boiling water, the alcohol evaporates out pretty quickly. There's probably still a little bit in there, but it's better for you to do that. And then take it when it cools down. A tea, you could make a tea. You don't even need to bring tincture into your house if you are that severe in your alcohol dependence and you can't trust yourself. Then just go with the tea. Just buy some dried SKULLCAP, or learn how to harvest it fresh if you're near where it grows. And even though it is quite bitter, you could drink it as a tea. You could even take this dried in capsule form. That might even be a better, but try to get it where it hasn't been sitting on the shelf for 5 years, because it does lose its potency. And make sure you're definitely getting SKULLCAP, because some people might confuse it with germander or other herbs. So make sure you're definitely still getting SKULLCAP. Okay. Anyways, that's all that he has in there. If you don't have SKULLCAP, or you're not really comfortable taking an herb you don't know much about, the herbal allies that could also help you similarly is rosemary, lavender, and lady's slipper, which I have never taken. So lavender and rosemary are more common herbal allies. And this tarot card, the Star, is definitely coming in with the message for us that we need to meditate. There is a need for meditation. It's time to relax the mind. Open up to visions, dreams, inspiration, and hope. Need to be in the moment. So this herb comes in to address if we've had a lack of focus, right? We've forgotten what our goals are. We can't seem to quiet down and meditate. SKULLCAP comes in to help. Comes in to help us discover the truth within. An energy of renewal, of cleansing. And it will help us with addiction and any type of spaced out frame of mind. So it's a cool herb, you guys, and it is our herb of the week. So we'll be thinking of her all week, and the Star, and the big ass message to meditate. So let me get some affirmations for you, and let's just really sink in now to the energy of SKULLCAP or mad dog weed. This affirmation minute is brought to you by our herb of the week, SKULLCAP. May they light up your life. I allow meditation to calm my mind. With a peaceful heart, I am open to the inspirations that flow within me. I am in the moment. I stay present. I believe in myself. I inspire everyone with my faith. I allow meditation to calm my mind. With a peaceful heart, I am open to the inspirations that flow within me. I am in the moment. I stay present. I believe in myself. I inspire everyone with my faith. And so it is. Yeah, here we go now. Here we go now. Here we go now. Yeah, go meditate. All right, you guys, thanks so much for hanging out. We can still be silly and meditate our asses off and find that clarity, that calmness, that openness, that peacefulness, that hope, that belief in ourselves, that faith. And really all we need to do is have a willingness to connect and stay present in the now moment. So I appreciate you staying and hanging and being present with me. And I really appreciate our herb of the week, SKULLCAP. Mad dog weed. Oh my God.